Welcome, welcome. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. How the hell are you guys doing tonight? Bitcoin, it's straggling along. You know, it's coming along. We're gonna dive into that real quick. Hopefully your bags are starting to level off. Right? We've had a hell of a week consolidating down from our all-time highs, and yeah, like I put in the description and the thumbnail, like we are on spring break on Wall Street. What do they like to do? They like to take a little off the top and enjoy spring break, and now that they're in, this is what we're doing. That's all I really see going on right now. We're gonna see what happens when the rest of the market opens here tonight into the weekend. Who knows, maybe MicroStrategy's got an extra lot of money just sitting around to spend more money on Bitcoin. We'll see what's going on with that. Let's dive into just quickly where we are and what we need to get to tonight. Looks like we're trying to push 64 right now. We were just sitting at 63.8 actually like a few moments ago. Yeah, we had this little bit of a move there. I mean, this little thing right here is not really going to last too much longer if it doesn't break through 64. And then the next point of resistance is going to be 66 and some change. And the big one we really need to break is going to be 68. So that's kind of where we stand. I don't see too much volatility into the weekend. Again, going into spring break, it's like the first weekend people taking off. The week of, the week after, going on vacations, doing all the fun stuff, right? All the fun stuff that we're going to have plenty of money to do later in our crypto journeys. Yeah, so don't sweat it. It's coming. It's coming. And yeah, I just kind of want a couple of honorable mentions. Jasmine's back over 2 pennies. Look at that. That broke out again today. It was really nice to see Jasmine back up here in these levels. But it has, again, still some room to grow to get back to almost 3 pennies where it was. It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, on the 4th. So, Huge things are coming. We just gotta wait for this giant loading screen. Anywho, we've got crypto fear and greed sitting in at 75. We've got stock market coming in at I'm all over the place today. 72, so roughly the same level. Again, the greed kind of settling down. Everyone should really be at all euphoria because we just had the most dovish, Jerome Powell read ever from the Federal Reserve, right? So, I mean, we got 3 rate cuts coming, according to Jerry Powell, unless they want to rug pull us. That could be a possibility too. They could be like, everything's great, everything is awesome, and then the Federal Reserve just kind of pulls the rug out from under us, expecting this to be a clear scenario running forward, with the rate, cutting the interest rates. Anywho, Bitcoin halving. Look at this! 28 days, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 54 minutes, and 35 seconds until the 420 blaze it, Bitcoin halving. This is where we're at, man. We're almost there. We're almost through the gate. And it's gonna be insane. I say this every day, man. And it's even like it's coming out somewhere between the 15th and the 25th is kind of what we're expecting right now. I just kind of put it at 420 because, I mean, who knows? Wouldn't that be awesome? The last block is mined on 420. I'm sure everyone would be having a natural high during that sort of euphoria. So yeah, that's coming. We'll be here before we know it. And I want to dig into a whole bunch of news today. A lot of FUD. We'll see what's going on with YouTube right now and what the general consensus is, and just get a feel for the market. Again, going into the weekend, we're not going to have too much volatility. I wanted to cover a couple things too. I did yesterday, but my mic was not working properly. Hopefully it's good today. If you can hear me fine, please just let me know, and a like and a subscribe would not be bad either. Anyway, so looks like Anthony Pompliano is again pushing Bitcoin narrative on the mainstream or legacy networks, right? We also saw CNBC covering again. It's Yahoo Finance, it's basically the same big players every single day. This is when you're starting to have mainstream adoption. These are not stopping every single day. I think yesterday was probably the most sluggish of the news I seen in terms of they didn't have any major influential speakers out there on CNBC. They just had people just kind of giving their opinions, really. Scaramucci is, man, he's all over the place. He's on Yahoo Finance and CNBC. So maybe we'll dive into some of those. Of course, Michael Saylor just kind of out there all the time. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of cover again some of the stuff I did yesterday, but you could not hear because I could not with my mic. Technical difficulties. Baby steps, man. I'm still a baby here in this space. I'm trying to grow this community for the misfits out there, such as I am. Not quite a crypto bro, but not quite like, a boomer or a 40-year-old asset manager. This is the place to be. All right, well, we're going to unpack some Bitcoin news in a fun and geeky way, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to cover this again. This really irked me yesterday, and I just want to get my point across. When we're talking about big influences in the space, when it comes to tech, I think Paul Barron is really up there, and I gotta want to do a shout out for him because he's definitely been a very key influential person for me over the years. But he also covered this on another influential YouTuber, right? And that is Linus. And we covered this yesterday, but technical difficulties, right? And I just want to kind of get into it again, where Linus is pushing the negative connotation that is going over widespread with millennials, and it's just uneducated. I wanted to get that off there because this is great for our space, and we just need to rip the Band-Aid off. Here we go.
Now, Linus didn't completely let the crypto side of this off. Here was a little bit of a clip of him talking about the strategy that Dr. Disrespect was doing. Take a look.
Dr. Disrespect, developing an FPS game, but Midnight Society is graciously offering a select group of 10,000 community members a $50 Founders Access Pass that will provide access to early builds, Discord channels, and the chance to vote on key design decisions.
So, pause for a second.
They just put NFTs and loot boxes and paid early access together.
Let's go.
It's like one middle finger wasn't enough. Can I be a billion?
What the hell? What in the hell? Okay. For him to basically, I mean, again, it's an early access game. The game looked all right from the beginning stages. I remember seeing early pieces of it last year. It looked pretty rough, but the game looks pretty solid now. And they're advertising, again, this pre-sale, right? Where did I have it? There it is. So it's Shrapnel. If you're not familiar with Shrapnel, it's an FPS game. Again, like Linus said, being co-developed with Dr. Disrespect. And we have these skins, right? Like any other video game. And I said yesterday that this is a great thing for our space. And this is one of the first I would argue, AAA titles to incorporate blockchain technology, crypto assets, and NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which can be literally any asset on the entire planet can be literally attached to and programmed to an NFT. Why is that great for gamers? And then why is there such a negative stigma to this? I don't know, honestly, but it's great for gamers because then we have ownership of our assets. And like I said yesterday, I have played a lot of MMOs. This is the perfect scenario for MMOs because I don't know if you played an MMO lately, but ever since kind of flashback, early 2000 MMOs came out, we started creating online economies with digital assets, right? So we have all these like items and games we can trade back and forth. Fast forward to the future, which is now, and all these games are launching. They're limited access. You have to pay for certain items right off the gate, and then you can't trade them player to player in most games now. On top of that, you can't. I mean, this is a game changer. Literally a game changer. You'll be able to take your assets from the game, upgrade them to other games, transfer them to newer games, and also trade them with players or exchange them for cryptocurrencies, monetary value. How many times, I couldn't tell you how many times, and this one of the reasons why I stopped playing a lot of online games was because a lot of the online games, they'd shut down these servers after 4, 8, 10 years, and you'll never be able to get any of your time back. That's the number one bummer about this. But in the future, these games could incorporate NFTs in a way that you can get future residuals off of them. I mean, you could even, depending on the game, game space and the developers. And we're going to dive into an article later on video game developments, and actually a Square Enix dev speaking out on that. Yeah, it's great for everyone, and we got to shake away this uneducated view. Right, going back to Linus, because he's a large influencer, he's pushing a negative view on technology he doesn't really quite understand for, again, a demographic that apparently it has left him. So I just wanted to get into that again real quick, and then Paul Barron actually, we saw this yesterday, and my reaction was just floor drop on my jaw, but I'm just gonna finish this up.
Millionaire, please, can we just embrace this?
No.
Okay.
All right, well, let's just take it for what it is, guys. I mean, this is the model in which these games are going to be developed in the future. you might as well get used to it, Linus. This is what's going to happen. And by the way, if you look at the NFT, that guy that spent the $50 right now, well, you know, it's worth 500. So let's just say that
$500. What is that, like what was it, 0.3 ETH or I mean, like, what the heck? 0.13 ETH? Yeah, this is where we're at. Okay. And these are limited drops, just like any other game item. You know, I can't trade you my skins from my limited time skins from Mortal Kombat 10 or 9 or whatever the heck it was from back in 2012. You know, when that game went to the death of the 360 or whatever game it launched on. Just a good example. I mean, there's literally everything we've ever everything we ever bought on these consoles are gone. So anywho, I just wanted to kind of review that again since technical difficulties. And yeah, we can move on. Enough said. Anyhow, Dave Ramsey. We touched this a few days ago too. I just wanted to jump into it again because this one got my blood boiling, and I'm sure it'll do the same thing again. So if you haven't seen this yet, this is a treat. Again, we really need to push mainstream adoption, get people to understand why this is important, and how and people are going to these major influencers and they're telling them, they're shouting from the rooftops, hey crypto, hey NFTs, hey blockchain technology, this is the future. This is going to maintain your wealth. I mean, what are we doing? And here's one of Dave Ramsey's viewers just kind of chiming in on it. So here, take a listen.
The good kind.
Today's question comes from Jason in Connecticut, who's also not evolved. Can we start treating Bitcoin the same way you would treat single stocks? Crud, son. I understand you're not a fan. No kidding. Where'd you figure that out? But an asset with $1 trillion market cap is not a beanie baby. No, but it's still thin air. Ask people like Warren Buffett, who says if he doubled the amount he had put in Bitcoin, he would still have zero because that's the amount he's put in Bitcoin. I'm going with Warren on this one. Not saying you have to add it to your portfolio, but it's a good enough asset to invest 5%. No, it's not.
Okay, I don't know where the 5% comes from.
I don't know where the $1 trillion
number.
market cap comes from. Mist and smoke and mirrors, like the whole
here's what's
freaking
happened,
concept.
Dave. While you were enjoying some time off, Bitcoin has shot from the ground to the moon and probably back up again, and so now everyone's getting loud again.
No way.
Because it's hit all-time highs, and so now everyone's going, see, Dave is wrong about this.
You know what? We've got something else.
Very wrong, so wrong.
Repeats itself like gold. See, I've been doing this show for 32 years, and ever so often gold goes up, and everybody goes, see, Dave, I told you. And then it goes down, and those people just disappear. And then it goes up, and they go, see, Dave, I told you. You don't understand gold. You don't really understand. Gold has value. Like what? Well, why does it have value? Because of people like you. It's a commodity. That's where people give value. The only reason gold has value is two people agreed it had value, and they fought over it. That's the only reason. That's the same reason that green paper has value.
That's why everything you just described, everything.
That's
literally
what gives
everything.
something value. So commodities are exactly the same way as currencies, and Bitcoin, someday, all kidding aside, all sarcasm aside, someday it may level out and become a thing. But Jason, it's not there.
It's been there, Dave.
Bitcoin investment
It's been
on
there.
somebody I really dislike.
That's saying something.
I really would. I mean, I don't even want those people to lose money.
Well, even then, I see single stocks very differently because stocks are based on a company's.
Anywho, it just drives me insane. I used to respect and look up to this man. I read his book. I cut all my credit cards in half. And now I've done the completely opposite. Hey, Mondo. Welcome. Mondo. It's been a few days, Mondo. How you doing? Everyone buys 72 Bitcoins? Oh God. I wish I could buy 72 Bitcoins, Mondo. Holy crap. We're far away from that dream. We're in the Bitcoin timeline. We definitely are. And yeah, we can kind of dive into that real quick too. I think we're finally out of the still cheap zone. So unfortunately we don't have that anymore, but it is hollow territory. Yep, we are. Oh, looks like no, we did. Yeah, we did dip back down into still cheap for the moment. Okay, so game on, guys. Game on. Still hodl. I mean, still accumulate just a little bit more. Yeah, I did announce a few days ago that when we dipped that down to we dipped back down to 63, which where we are right now. Didn't really change much. You can still buy some now. There's nothing stopping you from buying now. You never know what could happen. China opens up. But yeah, I did buy 1% when we did first dip down to 63, and now we're here again. So could be a good time. If I had another $636, I would definitely buy another 1%. Yay, Bitcoin. Yay, gay Bitcoin. Oh, what the hell, Mondo. Yeah, you missed out earlier, Mondo. I was saying that our Jasmine coin's back up again. Look at this. We hit 2 cents since you've been away. That's awesome. Awesome for Jasmine. And yeah, all we need is another big push for Bitcoin, and Jasmine will probably break its year-to-date high, which would be nice to see Jasmine at like 3 cents. Man, this thing is running like crazy. I can't believe it. It feels like forever. Well, it was like forever. It was like a 2-year hold for me at half a penny. So yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully you guys are picking up some Jasmine and some other coins. If you're looking out right now, let me know what's your favorite altcoin right now. I'd say Solana. I'm really bullish on Solana still. Man, this thing is crazy. It's beating the pants off Ethereum in terms of price action, and how much it's up this year compared to a lot of the layer ones. So it's freaking awesome. I love Solana. AVAX 2 is making another big push. This will be a $100 coin no time. I think its all-time high was like 120. I'm just so happy. Back in the last bull market, I was happy holding just like one of these things. But 150 is about the time it hit the last bull cycle. So, but yeah, we've come a long way on a lot of these projects. Anywho, we're gonna continue on with the show. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. We do. We always do. There's so much in the space you can't keep up with. It's insane. I had to leave like 4 articles open yesterday before starting the show today. I still have them a whole bunch up. We just don't have enough time to cover it in an hour. The space is just too diluted with information, which is great. It's great if you want to play these sides. So, yeah, let's just dive into the rest of what we got. Then maybe we'll check out some Google Trends and stuff too. Alrighty. So the main article today, I had to reopen it because I just closed it. Bitcoin slips away to 64K as large grayscale. GBTC outflows continue. Yes, the great, I always call it great, grayscale Bitcoin trust. Which then was converted into an ETF, which then now is being appealed from the SEC to not have been allowed to convert to an ETF. And then now, Grayscale is making their own new Bitcoin ETF called just ticker BTC, and they're making that in order to stop the outflows because their fees are too damn high. It's just a mess. It's just a mess, and it just continues to sell off as it should. All the other ETFs are at like 0.1, 0.0, 0.09, or whatever the hell these. I mean, these ETFs fees are so low now. There's no competition, and they're not moving because 1%, even if they sell off, like they already have about half of their sell off now. Grayscale had a total accumulation of 650,000 Bitcoin. They had the largest wallet, second to Satoshi's wallet, and they let it all just slip away. They let it all slip away just to be greedy on the 1% fees. Was it worth it? They could have had a long-term outlook on their asset manager. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it's worth it to me, but anywho, so yeah, we fell to 63,000 early during the U.S. session Friday amid a broader crypto sell-off. I'm calling it the spring sell-off, right? The spring break sell-off. Yep. So Novogratz said that the Bitcoin investor today in London, the ETF inflows will return once GPTC selling is completed due to the favorable macro conditions. Yeah, there's just so much FUD around the SEC right now, and this is only a tip of the iceberg. We've got other stuff to cover with the SEC, and Gary Gensler can freaking suck an egg, and all the latter. So Anywho, so they're basically just going to tell you stuff that we already covered and you're already informed on. But again, this type of news back in the last bull market would have sent Bitcoin like falling 30, 40, 50%. Anthony Papiano said it really best yesterday on his interview, that basically until we see a huge drop, like I'm talking 40, 50%, we're not in all like ultimate fear, when it comes to this asset class. And there's no reason to be. We got the halving again in 28 days. 3 hours and 2 minutes or whatever the hell it is now, right? We covered it a few minutes ago. So it's coming. Mondo Cat says coffin coin. Really? The coffin coin again, Mondo? Really? Oh man. You gotta have a more positive outlook, right? More optimistic outlook than resorting to that coffin. Yeah, I don't know about that coffin coin, Mondo. Is it even a meme? Like, I don't even know what it is supposed to even be. Like, what does crypto market cap say it is even? Coffin. We'll check this out real quick for Mondo, and then we'll move on. Coffin finance. Doesn't sound very. It sounds pretty grim for a finance company. Coffin finance is a partial collateral stable token project on Phantom. Ooh, Phantom. That's a great project. I actually missed out on Phantom. So Coffin token is a reward token on the project. Okay, so it sounds like an airdrop token for Phantom or Phantom Opera. I don't know if that's Phantom Opera is Phantom, like the actual Phantom, or is this a rug pull project? I don't know enough about it. There's too many damn coins. But look at this, Cat Girl. Look at this. Mondo. Cat Girl's back in. No, it looks like it slipped. Yeah, it slipped hard. Oof. The last day it had a huge drop. That's a shame. I was rooting for this one, but you know what? Buy the dip maybe? Yeah, it's has the same kind of chart that everyone else has right now. This almost looks like Jasmine. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's terrible. Oh man. Yeah, I guess a lot of coins are gonna have a similar chart, but that looks almost identical to Jasmine's 1 hour chart probably. Yeah, that's crazy. Anywho, you can almost literally throw your money at any project right now, and I hate to say that because I don't want to lead anyone astray, but that's kind of where we are in this part of the cycle. You could pretty much throw your money at anything and make 10x. Well, back in January you could have, but now maybe 5x. I mean, anything's possible. Anywho, let's move on from Coffin. Move out of the grave. We just got done with Grayscale. Ripple versus the SEC update. All right, this one is driving me nuts. So if you're not familiar with what's been going on with XRP over the last 5, 6, 7 years, or however long it's been, way before I even got involved in crypto. Yeah, they're still, they just got, I guess, an approval to appeal it. They had such a large win, and now we're jumping right back into it. And supposedly, we're going to be looking at another year of this. And it sucks because the SEC has delayed the progress of this particular project now that so many people have rallied behind for... Man, as long as I've been in crypto, XRP's been one of the largest, coins to back in terms of where our legacy TradFi, traditional finance companies are going into, the big banks, the institutions, taking your money, investing it somewhere else. Well, this will be an easier way for them to transfer that money somewhere else. So that's the XRP. And even Brad Garlinghouse said a long time in an interview that this was not meant for the retail. It's just, it ends up on the blockchain and retail ends up buying it. So I wonder if a lot of this is just to delay it even further, get everyone to just sell it off, get the weak hands out. It could just be that, or it could really be that the US is so threatened by XRP because they have so many partnerships. They have so many partnerships. If you've seen one of that one legendary video out that's like flying out there that literally goes over every single SEC bullish native sentiment in like a minute flat. It's insane, but it's a troll video now. But I'm still bullish in the future. I have a big bag of XRP. I'm still holding it. I'm not gonna sell it anytime soon, even though every other coin is doing so much better. I can hold on to this bag for longer. So that's what's going on with the XRP right now. The project is being halted yet again, and we have to wait until the end of the month for the next redaction. So I think it was today. Yeah, I think I covered this a few weeks ago about they had the opening remedies and declarations. They exhibited under a seal. And then now parties must meet and confer their identity, identify the redactions. And that is going to be March 25th, which I think is Tuesday, right? Monday. Okay, well, hopefully between now and Monday we can get something positive in this court case. This is ridiculous. Anywho, moving on. New research paper sheds light on alleged conflict of interest of FTX Chapter 11 filings. So if FTX, our boy Bankman-Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried, and I got my sweet memorabilia from the last bull run. These are my FTX fortune cookies. And you know what? Bitcoin, 21 million is your lucky number. So FTX. FTX is Sam Bankman-Fried. We got another article covering that too. How much time should he spend in prison? How much time? Some people say for life. Man, he ruined a lot of people. New research paper. So they're basically just going over the bankruptcy of FTX and the sell-offs. A big chunk of that is a large portion of Solana. All right, and I don't know if they actually have it on here. I'd be interested to see what that is. Because last time I heard, it's not even mentioned in this article. That's a shame. That's the most important thing I want to know about their bankruptcy. Because there was rumored to be, or not rumored. There's an actual number out there. I don't remember the exact amount of holdings, but the amount that FTX did have, I think they had about 7 years in order to move that. And I think at one point, one of these ETFs are just going to probably gobble it up. Because by then we're going to have a Solana ETF. You know it because the ETH ETF is not bullish enough. And I think we even have an article about that too. There's too much news to cover. Too much news to cover about we might just kind of skim over that as well. ARK Invest ships portfolio, swaps Coinbase, and Robinhood for newly IPO'd Reddit shares. This is kind of something to pay attention to because when ARK moves, they move, and they move in a big way. Kathy does not pull any punches. She knows where she's sinking her money into. She was one of the first large investors to identify Bitcoin. She's my Bitcoin goddess before Bitcoin Chan. Sorry Bitcoin Chan. This is where we're at. Kathy Wood is selling off Coinbase, which is a huge deal, especially right after. Well, it could be a sell the news event for ARK because, again, they just they just announced that they were going to do, and we covered this yesterday with technical difficulties. But to kind of sum up yesterday's news with Coinbase, Coinbase derivatives are here. They're going to be offering certain coins and giving out yields, just like Wall Street. And Wall Street loves Bitcoin, right? Anthony Pompliano says, that's what he says. He said Wall Street doesn't just like Bitcoin; they love Bitcoin. I'll have to dig up that clip real quick. Wall Street doesn't like Bitcoin; they love Bitcoin. You think of these? Yep, they do, and that's what they are looking at. They're looking at getting yields out of our coins. It's going to be awesome. And Coinbase is doing that. They're going to be the first ones to roll that out. And then the ETH ETFs are also looking at staking in a whole different light as well. And we covered the ETH Rainbow staking, which is going to allow anyone in any denomination to stake their ETH. Anywho, we have also, we're going to skip over this one. How many years will Sam Bankman-Fried get in prison? Follow up. All of them still out for 40 to 50 years. That's what they were saying a couple weeks ago when we covered this article, or similar article. But yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried hopefully will get 40 or 50 years. And we were gonna just keep smashing through it because there's just too much to cover. There's so much. We're going through the speed round of crypto news, crypto chaos. Anyway, don't you forget to like and subscribe, do all the things down below. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to build this community up for you and for me and for everyone. We need a safe space for the misfits out there. And Gen Z, man, gaming in crypto is gonna be amazing, amazing. Don't you forget though, this is the dystopian future. And yeah, crypto is just the first step to paying those robots to get you your Starbucks coffee in the morning. Oh man. So yeah, this also happened today too. Kind of what happened with Ledger, right? Oh, I guess I'm not wearing my my Ledger right now. But yeah, I do have a Ledger. And what happened last year? Actually, no, I think it was 2 years ago now. There was a big breach, and it's mostly dApps that caused this. Get that? Don't be mistaken. These hardware wallets are very secure, right? In order to encrypt your key phrase, your seed phrase, whatever you want to call it, on the blockchain, they're robust and secure. I mean, you're just gaining access temporarily, and then just to the blockchain to make the moves that you want to make in the space, right? To hold your assets in sovereign, in non-sovereign custody, right? Your own personal custody. So Trezor it happened with Trezor too, just like Ledger, and it seemed like it was compromised through an X account, which I don't even know how they're doing this. So don't fret on Trezor, at least not yet. It's nothing huge, just like Ledger. Just be really careful. Really careful. I want to be very clear on this. Where you connect your wallets to. This is why I don't use dApps anymore. I don't mess around with any of that. If it's not native to my wallet, I do not store it in that wallet. I find a different wallet. And a lot of the, and be careful, a lot of the like MetaMask and all of these browser-based wallets are going to be the first place of attack because they're not as secure, and you can accidentally click on something and give up your access to your wallet. So be really careful with software and browser-based wallets, right? And get yourself a Trezor, get yourself a Ledger, get yourself there's so many, a Passport for Bitcoin or whatever you. They're great. You need one in the space, especially if you're going to be holding your own custody long term. Again, and maybe we'll dive into a little bit of that if we have some time too about just When Moon. I think everyone should have some fun with When Moon when it comes to long term hodl. Anywho. Final Fantasy Director. This is right up my alley. I covered this a little bit the other day with Square Enix, right? Square Enix is getting into the space huge. They launched their NFT space. It didn't go over very well. Again, so much negative connotation. If you missed that from, I think covered it like 10, 15 minutes ago. I covered how Linus, of course, LTT Linus, yours truly, doesn't understand NFTs. And he keeps pitching NFTs to as an uneducated YouTuber, influencer in space, he's just getting it wrong. This is a great thing for gaming. And Final Fantasy 15 director says AI, VR, and Web3, Web3 being our space, right, is important for devs, whether you like it or not. That's right. This is how we evolve. This is taking digital assets, right? My sword in Warcraft, or my starship in Star Wars, and being able to tokenize that and trade it to another player, not have to be locked into this system. I played Phantasy Star Online for the newest one, Phantasy Star Online 2, for 2 years. 2 years. And they locked down every single item I ever touched. You couldn't trade it with any player once you used it and activate it. I mean, these things, these terrible, terrible business practices are going away, finally, and we're going to have a better method to transact, and these NFTs can be brought into future games as well. I mean, depending on the developer, You could have a MMO like Final Fantasy 15, and then when 16 comes out or 17 comes out, and you had a really great item, maybe there's a way to exchange that in the future game for said item or maybe an equivalent. Just like in Sword Art Online, covering anime, right? In Sword Art Online, there was plenty of assets that were transmissible between blockchains, right? Web3 protocols, or in that case, it was just the world, right? I forget the name of the world in Sword Art Online. But one of the biggest things about Sword Art Online was there was an AI construct. Man, we're getting into all these things. All these things are wrapped up. And I keep telling friends and family and everything else, sci-fi is just the beginning, man. It all starts there. Anime, sci-fi, science fiction. It all starts there, and it all becomes reality at some point. So I don't want to go dive into, if you're familiar with Sword Art Online, you know what I'm referring to. That's Asuna's daughter, which is transferable into future games in the future in that anime series. But anywho, this is huge. I can't wait. Developers should embrace future-facing technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, virtual reality, and Web3 if they want to stay relevant. You gotta stay relevant. Tabata's comments come during a seminar held by Human Academy featuring former Square Enix president Yoichi Wada and Tabata, who is now the CEO of JP Games. Interesting. So according to Google translation of the report from Japanese news source 4Gamer, the two gaming industry luminaries discussed the future of gaming with topics ranging from what is required of creators now to these people are not suitable for creators. Oh my god. Oh man. Yeah, this is crazy. Creators who haven't tried generative AI in intelligent systems such as ChatGPT or dabbled with Web3 metaverse development won't be able to keep up with the needs of the industry going forward. That's right, because the metaverse is going to become these 3D worlds. AI are building these 3D worlds. We covered, what was it, Sora, a few days ago, or I think it was like a week or two ago, about how it's basically using all of this processing technology. And NVIDIA came out and said they showed you the Blackwell chips. They showed you all these things that they're actually building the technology on. Artificial intelligence. It's all created right now. NVIDIA is making huge strides. And yeah, this is only the beginning. We haven't even, once you start training these AIs to keep pumping out these worlds, we're in the Matrix, man. We're in the Matrix in no time. Again, full circle. Science fiction. Anime. Reality. It's just how it works. Let's just we're getting kind of late, man. Holy crap, there's so much more to cover. The overreaching point of the conversation between the two appeared to address the changing landscape and the need for developers to remain both curious and agile as new modalities transform the nature of both game creation and monetization. Yeah, Web3 is not just about future of finance. It's everything, encapsulating the internet. So this is literally Web3. We're starting with the financial aspect. What was missing from Web 1, Web 2, and never built onto it. Like Microsoft didn't know, all these big players didn't know when we had the dot-com bubble, right? They didn't know that we were going to be using every single website on the planet to transact and have customer services of retail. We didn't know that. We had no clue. It was all brand new. It was all just a new frontier. That's pretty much the end of the article. Under its current president, Yosuke Matsuda, Square Enix has become one of the largest proponents of future-facing technologies among AAA game publishers. Again, they're ahead of the game. They launched their NFT space, their web store, 2 years ago. So did Disney, by the way. If you haven't been in the space for that long, Disney also had a NFT marketplace. Hot Wheels, Mattel, Barbie, all these big players have already experimented with this stuff within the last 2 years. Everyone called them out, made fun of them. You're trading Hot Wheel toy, GIFs, basically. That's how it all starts. You got to start somewhere. So this is very bullish. I'm excited to see again where we go. And a VR, I've got a few headsets in my right above my desk here, hanging on the, you probably can't see them. But yeah, gaming is coming. It's gonna be huge, and it's gonna take over everything. And they know they can get anyone in these metaverses. That's how everything's gonna be. We're gonna have schools in metaverse. We're gonna have, you know, you're gonna get diagnosed by your doctor eventually in the metaverse. You know, stuff like that. We're already doing that. We already tested with Zoom. Some would argue and say that COVID was the proving ground. It could have been. The whole thing could have been just a test. Let's see, can we implement the Matrix? I got, oh, dang it, I said the C word. Oh, man. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care about being monetized anyway. I'm here for the community. I'm here to make friends, find people in the space. So Swift. Swift is the payment system, right? The legacy payment system that TradFi uses. Your Visa, your MasterCard. Things that were developed in the 70s, the 60s, 70s. This is ancient. This is why we need Web3. We're so far behind. I mean, this is our grandparents' architecture. I think my parents were born in the 60s, man. They were born in the 60s when this stuff, they were born after this stuff was made. Yeah, this is our grandpa's technology. So put the technology you already have to use, Swift, right? Advise the world. It had itself in mind. The Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, Swift. God dang, that's a mouthful. Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Communication Transfer. That's literally what SWIFT stands for. I did not know that. That's nuts. Has been watching the development of fintech carefully with a focus on its own future after a variety of projects using these new technologies. The pillar of the current international payment system is thrown its weight behind a unified ledger payment model. So I covered this a few weeks ago. I got super excited about every time I hear it's Swift in the news. I go back to last year when Solana was I think I still have the pin up. Right there it is. This what made me bullish as all hell, and I dumped a ton of money into Solana when I heard this article come out. Visa came out and they said they're adding USD support to Visa. That was huge because they're settling with Solana. And it was just a test project back then. But no one was really paying attention to it because, again, our boy, the golden child, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, right? He backed this project heavily, and so everyone fudded this project to death. They're like, Solana's not going to do it. We don't want anything to do with this project. Solana also has a ton of money wrapped up in the FTX lawsuit and the court filings and all this stuff, yada yada yada. But you know what? It's damn good technology. You can settle any payment for fractions of you know, pennies, and you can do it in seconds. I've had the most pleasant time using Solana. It's not perfect, mind you. We still have down days, but you know what they say about technology? If it's fast, it's not as secure, and if it's secure, it's gonna be slow. So I would say, you know, we'll wait and see how Solana shakes out. But right now, it's proving to be a huge player in the L1s. So the layer ones definitely need work, like ETH has showed us. And I think Solana is going to be the answer to be building on for these developers and stuff anyway. So yeah, it's really exciting. The shared ledgers are not well suited to carry and storing high volumes of data due to the way data is synchronized across parties and the computing power required. This is where a messaging layer fits in. For transactions to be frictionless, adding additional types of data also need to be transferred to enable value-added services such as AML. Compliance, sanctions, screening, trade, and accounts receivable reconciliation is going to continue. Wow. Apparently there was an older article from back in 2022. This is updated, that article. Swift probably won't exist in 5 years, says MasterCard CEO. I believe it. I just told you, it's our grandma and grandpa's technology. But the big question is that can it be built on ISO 222? That's the technology we already use. That's kind of where we are now. I know the Bitcoiners, and I'm a Bitcoiner, right? I'm the maxis, the only Bitcoiners, right? The ones that don't believe anything else in the space. that Bitcoin's going to literally take over everything, which would be amazing. That'd be a great world to live in too. It's completely immutable. We know where everything goes. It's transparent. But man, I just looked over. Mondo, you're making me blush. So I think in the space, MasterCard, Visa, they're all going to be settled on blockchain. They're already making this is a survival attempt. This is how they're going to survive. This is how the banks are going to survive. It's going to be through blockchain technology. They're going to be, custodying your money if you're not going to do it yourself. And we may even have a fight. We may have put up a fight to push back all the regulation that's going to come into custodying your own wallets. You may have to move out of the states. Hopefully, it won't come to that. I think if it does, we're going to be probably we're definitely not going to be the crypto cap of the world if we fight this. I mean, that goes against the Constitution. But anyway, I thought this was a really interesting article. Anything that pushes up Swift, I get super excited about, because we are literally transforming the legacy market. So very bullish. Can't wait to see where we're going to be next year when we convert everything we have. Again, Larry Fink wants to tokenize every single asset, and that's going to have to start with transferring all the legacy technology into Web3. Alrighty, so Kathy Wood comes out and says Bitcoin is a financial superhighway and reiterates the $1.5 million price target. We talked about this a few days ago, where her and Arthur Hayes, I think it was the same week. Was that beginning of this week? Oh my God, everything day is just blending together. But yeah, Arthur Hayes came out and said he personally believes it's going to go to $1 million this year, or next year. And Samson Mao says it's going to happen this year. And then Kathy Wood still being a little more, level-headed, and she's like, well, we'll see where she's at now with the 1.5. But last time I heard, her $2.3 million predictions now in 2030, which makes me wonder where she thinks that's going to land now. As of today, this is updated. So let's dive into that. ARK Invest Kathy Wood called Bitcoin BTC a financial superhighway, emphasizing the important use cases for cryptocurrency in emerging markets. Wood, whose ARK Invest recently became one of the issuers of the spot Bitcoin ETF, the third largest spot Bitcoin ETF, mind you. She said that the asset manager is focused on emerging markets and the macro environments worldwide. Yeah, her entire company is up to date with everything that's going on. AI, Web3, fintech. I mean, she's wrapped up in medical. I mean, everything. She's following her ARK Invest is based around disruptive technology. This is Web3. This is the most disruptive technology we have, other than AI. You could argue which one's more disruptive. Don't forget though, AI is gonna. We'll get into that a little another time. I go into a deep dive rants when I talk about AI. But anyway, shocked by the U.S. Federal Reserve's increase in interest rates, she said during a fireside chat this Friday, the Bitcoin investors say at a day conference in New York, these are signals. Oh yeah, that's right. That happened today. That's right. A lot of influencers went to that. There's only about 250 people. It's an exclusive event. I can't wait to see the videos that are going to come out of this. We're going to have so much to cover. I may do a video tomorrow because I'm going to be so excited. I'm not going to be able to wait till Monday. But yeah, that conference went on. I think your boy Rob from Sin City Crypto went, from what I heard. So I'm super excited to see what they have to say on that too. There are signals that are not... all is well in the world, she said, about countries like Nigeria. We covered that 2 days ago. One of the biggest adopters of Bitcoin because of the strong depreciation of the nation's currency. Because of that, Wood sees Bitcoin as a risk-off asset and a risk-on asset. She said that in an interview this week. It was like Monday, Tuesday. It was awesome. She said she had a realization mid-interview. She's just like, can you say any asset on the planet is also risk on and risk off at the same time? No, because Bitcoin's a finite amount. It's the only finite thing we've ever had, the only finite commodity. very bullish. I can't believe. ARK Spot Bitcoin ETF has become one of the most successful Bitcoin ETFs among the 10 funds issued in January. Wood said that with more institutions entering the space, mathematically speaking, Bitcoin's price could easily rise above 3.5 million. She keeps going more and more out there with these predictions, man. Every time she talks, my heart melts, and I just get more and more bullish. I get those laser eyes. I'm gonna have to put some laser eyes in my mask for times like this, man. Yeah, she said that instead, and pointed out that her previous call of 1.5 target, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. Yeah, we're not bullish enough. I say that all the time here. We are not bullish enough. So it's really exciting. I can't wait to see. She must have said this today during that conference. 3.5. That's even newer than her previous price target, which was 2.3, and that was by 2030. Which would take probably in her scenario, her time horizon, $1 million Bitcoin by 2026 to 2028. And now, if this is what I think it is, and she's talking about 3.5 by 2030. We're looking at $1 million Bitcoin, and it could happen this next year. Next year it could happen. 2025, 2026 could be the $1 million Bitcoin. It sounds so crazy and stupid right now. We're sitting at we're fudding 63 as we're kind of like, making this first top. Not even a first top. I would argue it's just kind of like the edge of entry. If you look back at the last bull run, you can see a similar pattern, be it smaller. Remember, we create the same patterns, but there's so much smaller back here when you look back at them. But this point in per time would be kind of similar to this right here. And that was only a high of 40,000 last cycle. So it's just, again, it's a similar shape in the pattern. You can just speculate. You can even speculate and say that we were there back there at the beginning of the year. So who knows? But I have a macro chart up right now. These are kind of my macro levels. If we ever do break out of within the next year or two, where are we at? 120. I think we can easily break out of that. If we ever break out of that, we break out the entire macro trend. Then we have absolutely no clue. We have no clue. So take that into consideration when discounting Bitcoin, because people are like, I remember the beginning of the beginning of this cycle, everyone was saying that, oh, Bitcoin won't make you a 10x this cycle. I don't know, man. Right now, if you had one Bitcoin, you're making a lot. I guess that would be a $1 million Bitcoin. It'll be more than a 10x, because right now it would be 600,000, right? So it's only almost double. It's almost like a 20x. How many coins do you think of that are going to do that? I don't know. Not many of the big blue chips anyway. We'll see. We gotta wait and see. But I'm very bullish. Very bullish. On that news, thank God, Kathy. There can probably be only one Bitcoin. This article kind of stood out to me. I thought I'd just kind of cover it real quick before we take a look at the market. Again, the liquidity is going to be smaller tonight, but China is going to be awake in the afternoon, or Japan in the afternoon here soon, and then China here it's going to be in the morning, relatively shortly, in about 5-10 minutes. So I'll take a look at that here in a minute after we cover this. But yeah, this article is really interesting because they kind of go over a base view on what makes Bitcoin stand out. Why isn't Litecoin? Because remember, Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. It's essentially the same damn thing, but with more tokens, right? Oh my God, Mondo! Oh wow, Mondo's saying, "Are you saying that if I buy Bitcoin, I will get a wife?" What? Oh my God, you want a wife, Mondo? You want a wife? I thought you wanted a husband. You want both? Maybe you want both. I'm not one to judge. Oh my God. So yeah, there can only be probably only one Bitcoin. Yeah, and I'm assuming it's going to kind of go over just the. Like I said, Litecoin is basically a fork of Bitcoin with more tokens. But yeah, let's take a look. One of the key questions about the next era of crypto and blockchain is this: how will all capital likely be deployed into digital assets and cryptocurrencies as they become better regulated? I mean, BlackRock wants ETH to settle all tokenized assets, and they're making a token on Ethereum. And it's going to be a layer 1, I think, from what it makes it sound like. Could that be the way we settle everything? And does Bitcoin have to be the one that settles everything? That's my argument there. Then our XRP, the banker's token, right? Doge. That's a fun one. Where yeah, it would be funny if Doge was the cryptocurrency of the future that settled all, regular payments. Anywho, more than 90% of the world's financial and business assets are considered onshore. That is, they are owned and managed by entities and people residing in the countries where they are bought and sold. Today's most crypto assets are bought and sold offshore. I estimate about 80% are based on data from CoinGecko. However, as more regulated opportunities open up, new capital will flow into these digital assets environment. I don't, however, think that there will be a huge new range of cryptocurrency growth and opportunities. Who's this based on? Paul Brody? Huh. So the technology industry needs to thrive among standards that provide economies I can't even talk tonight. Economies of scale and network effects. Ethereum has won the standards in the eyes of BlackRock, right? And has run the standards war for programming and has largely fixed its scalability issues, making it the default choice. Digital assets will, by and large, exist in the Ethereum ecosystem. I just don't. I mean, there's a lot of upgrades left to do on Ethereum, right? It's still early. Oh boy, digital assets can be much bigger than just a digital version of gold. Bitcoin isn't just a subject to the same rules, but although people tend to lump them together, Bitcoin is a true crypto asset and very much like gold. People don't buy it with the plans to use it. They buy it for the scarcity value and see it as appreciation as an asset, like gold. People do not expect Bitcoin to generate cash flow and just to appreciate through scarcity. This is kind of how I look at Bitcoin, but we do have the Lightning Network, right? And it's getting better. We just need to find a solution for scalability. This is my argument on Bitcoin as being only Bitcoin for settlement. So let's see what they have to say about that. Nor do I think of recent efforts to add a layer to the ecosystem of Bitcoin, similar to what exists for Ethereum. It's likely to change the outcome. The Ethereum ecosystem has an enormous lead, and Bitcoin users that want to make their asset programmable have already been migrating into wrapped Bitcoins or on the Ethereum for some time. We also have stacks, right? And stacks are yielding out Bitcoin. So there's other things that's going on Bitcoin, as on the layer one. You can't say that there's no. I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with this article. I got some conflict with it. So there can only be one Bitcoin. Theoretically, there can be infinite Bitcoins. I mean, technically, it's not wrong. People can just create another fork like Litecoin. It feels like there practically already are. Litecoin, Dogecoin. That's right. Dogecoin is another fork. And countless other meme coins and cryptocurrencies are nearly identical to the copies of Bitcoin. And while there is no Brody coin as of yet, that's very vain. Wow. I do offer complimentary NFTs. Get yours here. Oh God. Despite the effectively infinite supply of Bitcoin copies, I suspect that there can only be ever one Bitcoin, and it's the one we already have. Let's stick with the gold analogy. While there isn't an infinite supply of gold, oh my God, yeah, I'm not even gonna finish this article. Oh my God, this guy is just such a prick. Come on, Paul Brody. But yeah, that's kind of a baseless article, really. I mean, yeah, we have Bitcoin. There are other coins much like it, but there is only one Bitcoin. I mean, you could argue that the culture and pop culture in general, right? I mean, I have a freaking Bitcoin Pez dispenser in my hand. If anything becomes big, you're gonna have a rally behind it. It's gonna be part of culture, and I think Bitcoin being the first cryptocurrency technology has a lot of that already taken. It's already proved itself. It's 15 years old. It's no longer a baby. I'd say it's in its adolescent years right now. So we're gonna wait and we're gonna see the teenage years. I would argue that's probably gonna be now. They're gonna have some crazy volatility here in the next year, and then after that, it's gonna stable out and grow into adulthood. And we're gonna have a sustainable, less volatile Bitcoin. And so, yep, that's what I see is happening for Bitcoin. Let's take a look. We're 3 minutes into foreign markets. Oh, well, Bitcoin doesn't sleep, right? That's the beauty of crypto. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a sell-off here as the rest of the world wakes up into Saturday. And let's zoom in and see if we're making any interesting patterns. On the 15 minute, we've got kind of a bearish div. Let's see right here. Yeah, it's basically a bearish flag. Well, I mean, it is consolidating back up with a higher low, so I guess it's not super bearish, but oh, that's Ethereum. Oh my god, I'm on the wrong chart. It's the same pattern though. Who would have thunk? It always is. Oh my god. But yeah, same thing going on. We have actually looks more bullish in the Bitcoin chart than for Ethereum. As we basically bounced right off of a previous low, which is 62.5, and then we're heading back up. And it looks like we're printing a new candle right now on the 15 minute. So yeah, we could pump into the weekend. You never know. I mean, a lot of these, again, the over-the-counter sales are drying up. Bitcoin is, getting very scarce off the exchanges. If you wanted to buy like, I don't know, 10,000 Bitcoin and you're an institution or something, you're going to have to go find it somewhere else, and just pulling it off the exchanges and pumping up the price, right? That's what it's all about. It's about to keep suppressing the value. And that's what the institutions are really good at. So I'd be watching Bitcoin into the weekend. They have a large point of resistance to get through. That's our 66 level here, 66.8, and then our big one, which is going to be 68.5 still from our previous high of the week. And if we can get through that, which I doubt it because of volatility, and again, everyone's on spring break. This is going to be the first spring break weekend. I think everyone's going to be away. They're going to be enjoying their time and forgetting about Bitcoin for a while. Yeah, you're going to have people still on the beach messing with their phones and buying, Dogecoin or whatever on the beach, I'd imagine. But yeah, this is kind of the game we're going to play over the weekend. If this does not hold, though, if we do not break through 64 tonight, we're probably going to see another retest to 62.5 and then back down to 60,800. So that's kind of the game I'm playing this weekend. I'm just gonna have to look at it, maybe scalp some more Bitcoin down here, and pay my bills next week. We'll see. But yeah, that's I can probably say these other couple articles for next week. I definitely look out for that conference that's coming out. I'm sure there's gonna be tons of videos, if they're not already are, on YouTube right now. That happened today. I'm super excited on that. And yeah, I'm gonna probably call it here tonight on the stream. But yeah, don't FUD this market, man. This is gonna take up so fast. It's gonna take off. If you just zoom out, you can see we're just at the beginning. We're just at the beginning of this crazy cycle, and we're gonna go up in a big way. So don't fade Bitcoin. Don't fade some of the blue chips, right? Don't fade Ethereum, Solana. Don't fade any of the L2s. There's gonna be so much innovation happening in the next few years. So don't let your dreams be dreams. Buy Bitcoin. And yeah, this is the future of the dystopian future we live in. And the technology is going to bring us hopefully a little peace and quiet in a simulated utopia. All right, well, have a great night. With that being said, please like and subscribe, do all the things. Keep your money in cold storage via crypto, Web3. And I will see you guys next week. I might put one out tomorrow. We'll see. Have a good night. Otaku, signing off. Later.